a special good afternoon to our Chief Education Officer in the Ministry of Education, Technological Vocational Training, Dr. Ramona Archer Bradshaw, our stakeholders in education and health. We thank you all very much for coming. So before we get started, just to have a lay of the land, so to speak, this recognition award is the first that signals an annual recognition program that's going to be a key pillar of the school nutrition policy, recognizing the schools and key stakeholders within the school environment that are making strides and showing innovation as they support the implementation of this policy. Now, going forward, there will be an agreed selection criteria for the recognition program. However, as this is the first year of the policy, the members of the School Nutrition Policy Implementation Committee were unanimous as it relates to our champions of this first phase as they navigated, the curtailing of the sale of certain beverages laden with sugar and other artificial sweeteners, and the Canteen Concessionaires who have not only cooperated but excelled in their efforts. And within the program, you will hear more on why that is. But before we go any further, I would like to invite Mrs. Sterling Willoughby, Education Officer, Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, and member of the School Nutrition Policy Implementation Committee, to offer us a word of prayer.
Thank you. Please bow your heads. Father, we offer you thanks, we offer you praise. We thank you that we have been able to live to see this day. We thank you for that favor. We know it is not by any means a right. Lord, as we come before you today, we thank you for the vision of those who have seen the need to focus on the health of our nation. We ask you, Lord, that in spite of the challenges, in spite of the perceived hardships, that we may all see that at the end of this struggle, there is really and truly a rainbow. Lord, you know the status of our children. You know they are our future. You know the status of our adults. And if we can't guide our children, there's no one left for them. Lord, we ask that with your guidance, we may all come on board. We thank those who have seen fit to invest in the Canteen Concessionaires and to invest in these programs, Lord. We thank you because without their partnerships, we can't do it alone. Without their support, we can't fight this battle alone. So, Lord, we thank you this afternoon for giving us the courage to stand firm and to stand fast to our ideals. We thank you and we invite your presence here that as this afternoon's proceedings take place, we may all be inspired and renewed and prepared to continue this struggle. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Willoughby. As anyone can appreciate, anytime you're looking to make any kind of change, it doesn't have to be on a national level at all, just any sort of change in thinking, behavior, position, you're going to be met with every conceivable and sometimes inconceivable challenge that you can think of. But this is why moments like these, milestone moments, moments that we can stop and offer true tangible recognition, become more and more important. So without any further ado, I am going to introduce you to Mrs. Hedda Phillips-Boyce, Chair of the School Nutrition Policy Implementation Committee and Education Officer at the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training. Hedda.
Dr. Ramona Archer Bradshaw, Chief Education Officer, Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training. Dr. Arthur Phillips, Deputy Chief Medical Officer, Ministry of Health and Wellness. Dr. Walter Aline, Senior Medical Officer, NCD's Ministry of Health and Wellness. Mrs. Eden Augustus, International Consultant, Communicable Diseases and Health Analysis, PAHO. Sponsors, ICBL and Standards. Ms. Greta Yearwood, Chief Executive Officer, Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados, Prof. Anne St. John, and Miss Nico Elliott is not here, so scratch that. Co-chairs Barbados Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition, Francine Charles, Program Manager, and other officers, the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados, Miss Mitchell Maxwell, Principal of Queen's College, members of the Barbados School Nutrition Policy Implementation Committee, esteemed Canteen Concessionaires, special invited guests, media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. So it is with great pleasure that I extend a warm welcome to all of you, especially our esteemed Canteen Concessionaires. We are pleased to have you with us as we have come to recognize the Canteen Concessionaires' contributions and support for the Barbados School Nutrition Policy. Canteen Concessionaires, your dedication has not gone unnoticed during this transition. As concessionaires, you play a vital role in enhancing the experiences of our children. The food you provide not only nourishes their body, but it also fosters a sense of community and togetherness. As you know, and you felt it, transitions can be challenging, and all of the stakeholders are very much aware that you lost revenue. We get it. But we urge you to continue with the cause as we forge ahead to create safe food environments for our children. Transitions often pave the way for new opportunities and creativity. Let us work together to create safe food spaces for our children. Our children need us to create these safe spaces in our school. As the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training and other stakeholders journey forward with the Barbados School Nutrition Policy, we are endeavoring to streamline our operations. So the Barbados School Nutrition Policy Implementation Committee, of which the Chief Education Officer, Dr. Ramona Archer-Bradshaw, has oversight, in collaboration with our stakeholders, have created guidelines for phase 2 of the implementation of the policy. Permit me to share with you but a few activities we are planning and implementing during the 2024-25 school period. And we're going to focus on the food environment because this is what would affect you, Canteen Concessionaires. Water Wednesdays will no longer be required, as only water and 100% juice with no artificial sweeteners are to be sold, served, or brought into schools. And I want to say at this point that I really want to thank you, because when I visit schools and I visit you, the majority of you have taken carbonated drinks out of your menu. And I want to thank you for that. Rebranding and monitoring of school meals will continue. Healthy meals, as provided by the guidelines created by nutritionists, are to be sold on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That will continue. Only the snacks and drinks on the compliant snack and beverage list are to be sold, served, or brought into schools. That is a work in progress, and I do trust that you have the snack and beverage list. Schools are to ensure that water is available to students throughout the day and during class time. Time will not permit me to read all the guidelines. This is but one pillar. You can log onto the Ministry of Education's website to read the other 5 pillars. And your insight and feedback are invaluable as we navigate this journey together. As I close, once again, thank you for being here today and for your unwavering commitment and support. We look forward to working alongside you as we embrace this transition and as we endeavor to make school food environments healthier as we create a brighter future for each child. Let's make this event a memorable one. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Hedda, for setting us up for a wonderful afternoon of recognition for these very special partners in this initiative. At this time, I'm going to invite Professor Anne St. John, who will address the current challenges of childhood obesity in Barbados and emphasize the need for collaborative strategies. She will share insights on the Coalition's initiatives and the importance of the community involvement in promoting healthy eating habits among children. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Anne St. John.
Good afternoon to everyone. It's wonderful to see you all here as we continue on the journey of trying to do good and promote healthy living, healthy lifestyles for our students. Protocols accepted. Most in attendance might be familiar that obesity and NCD's crisis is real. Adults and children are affected. In fact, 1 in 3 children in Barbados are either overweight or obese. Locally and regionally, concerns pertain to an epidemic of high blood pressure, diabetes type 2 in adults in particular. Obesity and overweight in particular, from a young age, can impact most organs in the growing body. Organ damage is not reversible and can result in affect people older, outside of the classification of childhood. The Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados Childhood Obesity Prevention effort commenced a number of years ago, and it's Barbados Childhood Obesity Coalition branch for 5 years in age now, being involved in a strong advocacy effort. Prevention is far better than cure. The reported national expenditure of greater than 700 million Barbados dollars per annum spent on treating NCDs continues to be deleterious in the national budget. One key identified for a successful advocacy campaign has been the need to strengthen the multi-stakeholder approach and have collaborative strategies. Food security, healthy eating, and physical activity predominate. And this function this afternoon is one of the recommendations for those who are collaborating, that rewards be given and recognition for good work. The coalition sees its initiatives as being paramount. The NCDs and childhood obesity is not just a Ministry of Health issue for the Ministry of Education issue. It needs to have everybody, and it's everybody's business and concern. Multiple ministries have a responsibility as stakeholders to cement the effort and leave no stone unturned, and vital and integral partnerships deemed necessary to stem the epidemic. I'm going to briefly highlight some of the Barbados Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition's initiatives, which are in effect, but not limited to. Firstly, community involvement in promoting healthy eating habits amongst the students. Secondly, a sugar-sweetened beverage tax, which increased from 2017 when it was introduced to 20% 2-3 years ago. Drink more water, getting sugar-sweetened beverages out of the schools. And in fact, water is far less costly when it comes to the often mooted phrase about it's so expensive to eat healthy and take good nutrition. Water is one of those things. Water is like, you can get water in the supermarket, 80, 90 cents per water bottle. And certainly, this is far less costly than sugar-sweetened beverages. Thirdly, the School Nutrition Policy was approved by Cabinet in 2023 early and launched by the Ministry of Education implemented in Term 3, and has received tremendous support from the coalition before the Ministry of Education launch and also the post-implementation effort. Fourthly, vendors training. Many seminars have been hosted by the coalition, including for Canteen Concessionaires as well, who are here today. Thank you for the level of support by the concessionaires and the vendors and coming on board. The value of community involvement in promotion of healthy eating cannot be underscored. Fifthly, mapping of alternative snacks and drinks by a team of coalition member nutritionists. And I salute Nicole Griffith, the co-chair of the coalition, who is not here today, on her tremendous effort along with the team to do mapping of alternative snacks and drinks. Fifthly, coordination of a compliant list for healthy snacks of schools. This was alluded to by Ms. Heather Phillips-Boyce. 6, school nutrition tours. These started last year, where we go to the schools, primary schools and secondary schools, about 65 primary schools, 21 secondary schools. And we visit at least 2 schools per week by a schedule where we do a 45-minute program, very active program, talking about nutrition, physical activity, and at the end they have a game where they go to boxes which contain various edible products and they select them and they get points awarded for that in the game. 7, a stakeholder workshop to develop a 3-year school nutrition policy implementation program. And 8, extending with other ministries of government. For example, the Ministry of Energy and Small Business, looking at consumables served at summer camps, and revision of the Healthy Basket, which comes under the Ministry of Small Business. We're looking at working with the Ministry of Youth and Sports, vending around camps, and the National Sports sponsorship relating to unhealthy food and drink available for students. And I don't have to tell you, who are parents, we have these various companies who market their products, energy drinks and energy consumables. Children don't need extra energy, they already have energy. So this is something which impresses the mind that you need more energy, and therefore they're energy drinks, which are caffeine containing and so high sugar. People don't realize that one Fanta, for example, contains about 16 teaspoons of sugar. And we show this to the students when we go to the school. We have an empty bottle and we have a student put up the drink, pour in 16 teaspoons, and then teachers and students realize this is not what they really need to have. The passing of an act deemed the vending policy has been prolonged, unfortunately, and we are eagerly awaiting accomplishment of this. The coalition continues to see signs of hope and progress in its advocacy campaign. Much more can be done. We are convinced it continues to seek new areas of collaboration and cooperation through ongoing dialogue with stakeholders. Finally, I extend high commendation to the Canteen Concessionaires and also the vendors group for playing a significant role working with the coalition to strengthen the badly needed collaborative effort, contributing to success at a national level for the children of Barbados who are our future, and for the population as a whole. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Anne St. John, especially for your team with the diligent work that you're doing directly with not only our students, but their teachers and those who are responsible for them. At this time, I am going to invite Dr. Walter Aline, Senior Medical Officer of Health and NCDs, as he speaks to the importance of the Barbados School Nutrition Policy as it relates to school-aged children. Dr. Aline.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Ramona Archer-Bradshaw, Chief Education Officer, Ministry of Education, Technology and Vocational Training. Professor Anne St. John, Co-Chair, Barbados Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition. Mrs. Heather Phillips, Boyce, Chair, School Nutrition Policy Implementation Committee and Education Officer, Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training. And Mrs. Serlene Willoughby, Education Officer, Ministry of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, and member of the School Nutrition Policy Implementation Committee. Specially invited guests, members of the media, everyone else, good afternoon. I'd just like to spend 10 seconds to say that Professor St. John was my consultant when I was a medical student. Ma'am, I'm humbled to be sitting next to you. Thank you. I am delighted to join you today as we recognize and celebrate the vital role that our school canteen concessionaires play in nurturing the health and well-being of our nation's children. The Barbados School Nutrition Policy, approved by Cabinet in 2023, represents a significant milestone in our journey towards creating healthier school environments. But the success of this policy rests heavily on the dedication and commitment of partners like you, our school canteen concessionaires. We recognize that you are on the front lines of transforming our school food environment to a better one. Your daily interactions with students put you in a unique position to influence their food choices and help establish healthy eating habits that will serve them throughout their lives. The data tells us why your role is so crucial. In Barbados, we face concerning rates of childhood obesity, with 32% of our adolescents being overweight, of which 16% are obese. The rapid shift from minimally processed foods to ultra-processed foods and sugar-sweetened beverages has contributed significantly to this challenge. But together, we can change this trajectory. Some of you are already leading the way, implementing creative strategies to encourage students to make healthier choices. Your experience and innovation in this area are invaluable, and we want to support you in expanding these efforts. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, is committed to providing you with the tools and support needed to successfully implement the nutrition standards while maintaining viable businesses. This includes training programs, guidance on menu planning, and assistance in sourcing healthier ingredients. We envision our school canteens as model environments where healthy eating is both appealing and accessible. Your role goes beyond simply serving food. You are educators, role models, and essential partners in our mission to improve the health of our school communities. As we move forward with tenets of the school nutrition policy, we will continue to engage you, learn from your experiences, and work together to overcome any challenges that may arise. Your success is our success, and the health of our children depends on our collective effort. Thank you for your dedication to this important cause, and thank you for being crucial partners in creating healthier school environments for our children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aline. Because of the space that I currently occupy, I can speak with confidence that these moments gain not only the attention, but the unwavering support of our Chief Education Officer, Dr. Ramona Archer-Bradshaw, who on a daily basis is in the throes of transformation in all kinds. And to this end, Dr. Archer-Bradshaw will speak about the vital role that canteen concessionaires in particular play as it relates to the school nutrition policy and the importance of the continuation of the supporting of this policy. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Education Officer Dr. Ramona Archer-Bradshaw.
Esteemed guests, especially invited guests, my colleagues from the Ministry of Education, the members of the Barbados School Nutrition Policy Implementation Committee, my canteen concessionaires, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my absolute pleasure to be here this afternoon with you. And the reason I'm feeling such joy during this recognition ceremony is due to the fact that I was with you on that day at the Barbados Community College. How many of you remember that day? When you faced your fears, when you raised your concerns, when you shared with one another, when you reaffirmed your commitment to ensuring that our children receive nutritious meals. I'm so happy that we've come so far and that you are now at the point where you're being recognized. To this end, I thank the Heart and Stroke Foundation. I thank also the Barbados Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition, the Pan American Health Organization, and most importantly, the Ministry of Health and Wellness. And I will explain to you a little later why I say most importantly. But as I represent the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training today, I acknowledge and celebrate the vital role that Canteen Concessionaires play in supporting the Barbados School Nutrition Policy. The commitment that many of you have demonstrated in providing nutritious and balanced meals in our schools to support the health and well-being of our children has been nothing but short of commendable. We all know that change is not easy. Nevertheless, you are willing to put your hands to the plow for the benefit of our children. Now, the reason that I highlighted the Ministry of Health and Wellness is because without them, the Ministry of Education would not be implementing a policy. They were the ones who spearheaded the development of the Barbados School Nutrition Policy. And that is the reason I thank you and your team. Arthur, I know my colleague CMO Kenneth George played a role in that as well. And this policy focuses on creating a healthy food and physical activity environment for our students so that every single student can reach his or her full potential. It recognizes that healthy nutrition is fundamental to academic success and overall physical health. However, the effectiveness of this policy relies heavily on the collaboration and the support of not some, but all stakeholders. Not some, but all canteen concessionaires. As the providers of meals and snacks in our schools, you have the unique opportunity to influence the dietary choices of our children. Every day, some of our students look to you for lunches in the canteen. Is this not so? And the options that you provide can either support their health or well-being, or health and well-being, or be detrimental to their health and well-being. By offering healthy, appealing, and diverse food choices, you can contribute significantly to fostering an environment where students develop good eating habits and where good nutrition is the norm and not the exception. Canteen concessionaires
Dr. Aline just reminded you that your role extends beyond serving meals. You are teachers or educators in your own right. You have the prime opportunity to introduce students to a variety of healthy foods, to encourage them to make better food choices later on in life, and to instill habits that will carry them into adulthood. When students are provided with these nutritious meals, they're more likely to be settled. They're more likely to be focused and ready to engage with their schoolwork. And they will have the energy to participate in physical activities. Moreover, your continued support of students at our schools as we implement the Barbados School Nutrition Policy helps to combat the pressing health issues that our young people face, such as obesity and related illnesses. Professor St. John just expounded on that. By aligning your offerings with the guidelines of the policy, you help to create an environment where students can thrive physically, mentally, and behaviorally. It means that what you do goes beyond making a dollar. You are making an impact, a positive impact on our children's lives. It is against this backdrop that I encourage you to continue innovating and exploring new ways to make healthy foods, not making them just accessible, but also making them enjoyable for our students. Remember, the choices that you make today will have a lasting impact on our children and ultimately our community. In line with our shared commitment to this cause, I was very recently informed that the Pan American Health Organization has generously offered a prestigious reward to the top 3 primary schools that can demonstrate their efforts in establishing a safe food and physical activity environment for their students by the end of this term. These schools are required to submit a report detailing the initiatives that they have implemented to foster this healthy food and physical activity environment. The Barbados School Nutrition Policy Implementation Committee, no doubt, will provide the specific criteria for evaluation to each primary school very soon. I would like to thank PAHO for their generous offer. You can give them a round of applause. I ask all of you here to make a commitment. Let us continue to make a positive difference in the lives of our students. As I always say in my borrowed quote, if we don't take care of our children's wellness, we're going to have to take care of their illness. Let us work together to take care of our children's wellness. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief. So up until this point, we have heard of the tremendous efforts, continued efforts, and no doubt there is only room for expansion, further collaboration, so that, as the Chief correctly said, it becomes the rule rather than the exception, and a healthy nation awaits us. At this time, what awaits us is the official presentation to these Canteen Concessionaires, and it is very clear why they deserve their recognition here today. I would like to invite Advocacy Officer Ms. Jan Phillips, and she will be presenting the gifts to these concessionaires.
Thank you very much, Gaynell. Protocols haven't been established. I am so delighted to be here for this presentation this afternoon. You cannot even begin to imagine. I may cry, so bear with me. This didn't start yesterday for us. This started back when we started this program. Well, program started in 2018, but we came on board in 2019. The Canteen Concessionaires, they were one of the first groups that we took under our wing because we recognized this is not going to happen without the Canteen Concessionaires buy-in. So we thought, let's do a Canteen Concessionaires training. And so we invited them. And you see them there sitting this afternoon, all nice and calm. That was not the first interaction. The first time we met with them, my goodness, it was contentious, but it was lovely because we were able to hear from them some of the challenges they were having. The biggest challenge they were having, what we were saying to them, we wanted to get these things healthy for we children because what's happening out there cannot continue. And they immediately went berserk, but we don't know what to buy. That was always their major problem. We don't know what to buy. And so we took them under our wings and we went out and we decided, you know what? We're going to work with these people. And boy, were they committed to the cause. So when I tell you that our team is happy to be here today, and we thank you, Ministry of Education, for this happening today, take it from our hearts that we thank you and we are happy that this recognition is taking place. With that said, I want to also say that out of the Barbados School Nutrition Policy and what we would have done over the years with the canteen concessionaires and vendors, they actually now have an association, and I think that deserves a round of applause. They have really put their money where their mouth is, and they are doing the work. And this recognition today of our canteen concessionaires is for me and for my team a big, big deal. So I want to join, and I absolutely want to agree with what Dr. Ramona Archer Bradshaw said. And I can see her delight. Know that we share the delight in fetting you, well, not me dancing or none so, but fetting you this afternoon and recognizing you. You deserve every recognition that you get. So at this point in time, I am going to call the names of the schools first. Then I'm going to call the names of the representatives here. And as I call your name, I want you to not be shy. I want you to join me on stage. So our schools are in order: Alexandra, the Aline School, Christchurch Foundation, Coleridge and Parry, Combermere, Darrell Jordan Secondary, Dighton Griffith, the Ellerslie, Frederick Smith, Grantley Adams Memorial, Graydon Seeley, Harrison College, Leicester Vaughan, Parkinson Memorial, Princess Margaret, Queen's College, Springer Memorial, St. George, and St. Leonard's. We have here our canteen concessionaires today, and yes, I absolutely must call your names. Mr. Jeffrey Jordan from Alexandra and Jeffrey has been coming to every session since we started. We have Mr. Richard Haynes, Andrea Clark, Andrew Franklin, who is a real special part of our vendor training sessions. We have Frances Small, Ms. Julie Holmes, Ms. Felicia Leacock, Moveen Jordan from Harrison College, and we have President of the Canteen Concessionaires, Mr. David Eiffel, and David is at Leicester Vaughan. We have Mr. Fabian Pyle Parkinson, Crystal Goddard, Mrs. Mitchell Maxwell will represent Queen's College. As we hear, our girl, Akila, is busy doing some stuff. Congrats to her. Oh, she's on her way. Lovely. Okay, no problem at all. And we have Chanel Lane Ford and Joan Bess. Ladies and gentlemen, our Canteen Concessionaires. Let me also at this time then first say a big thank you to our sponsors this afternoon. Pan American Health Organization, Insurance Corporation of Barbados Limited, Eco Sky Water, Bajan Pure, Glacial Ice Barbados Limited, Standard, and right, said Standard before, no I didn't, yeah, Standard. And at this point in time, I'm also going to invite on stage with me to make the presentations Miss Alexia Halliday from Standard. Alexia? You can stand on one side, and actually you can stand on that side because we're going to start with you. And then I'm also going to invite Miss Alicia Brathwaite Branham from ICBL to join me on stage as well. I'm also going to ask my partners, Mishron Robinson and Tiffany Baptiste, to join me. Oh, Movell. I called her Moveen. I don't like to get the name wrong. It's Movell Jordan from Harrison College. Okay, here we have our first presentation. You, don't be shy. You pretending you're shy, really? Yes, go right ahead. Next presentation. Sure. And smile nicely for the cameras. Don't be shy. Beautiful smiles. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Smile nicely. Cheese. Thank you very much, Alexia. I'm going to ask Lisa to make that. Nope. Oh, sorry. No, sorry. No. I'm sorry. That was my fault. That's okay. All right. Next presentation. I didn't tell you what the gift is because the gift is something nice for them. It's not for the canteen, it's for them. Okay, so they got some lovely utensils, and they are also going to be getting a case of water. We also have a voucher for them to spend and buy something nice for themselves. One, yeah? One more, that's it? Okay. Thank you very much, Lisa and Alexia. Maybe you want to come on stage so you can get a picture of the... Join us back on stage, Alexia and Lisa. So we can get a photograph before you guys run off. Good stuff. All right, but thank you very much. Guys, don't move yet. Thank you, Alexia, and thank you very much, Lisa. And at this time, I would like to call Chief Executive Officer of Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados, Mrs. Greta Yearwood, to present the vouchers to our canteen concessionaires. And that's not to be spent on the kids, okay? That's to be spent on you, right? Buy something, the old people used to give you a little $5 bill at Christmas, say, buy something nice for yourself, okay? Thank you very much, Greta. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this ought to be a standing O moment where we applaud our canteen concessionaires. Yep, absolutely. Good stuff. All right, well, thank you so much. Your water is going to be available as well, but we'll chat with you after. Thank you so much. All right, and at this point in time, we have one more presentation to make, and I'm going to invite Mrs. Phillips, Mrs. Hedda Phillips-Boyce from the Ministry of Education to tell you all about it. I'm not going to spoil the surprise. Hedda? There she is.
Thank you, Jan. So on behalf of the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, I just want to say thank you, concessionaires, canteen concessionaires. Thank you for staying on course. We need you. We need you to set the example because we are aware that there are some parents who don't know what to do. We're also aware that some of our children may get the one meal a day and that one meal is what you prepare. So we need them to be healthy. So we have 4 awards to be given to outstanding canteen concessionaires. And this reward has been donated by the Pan American Health Organization. And you may ask, how come that we have selected 4? We would love to give all of you. We would have loved to give all of you, but we couldn't. So we had to look for the 4 who were the most outstanding and who I would have recognized going to the schools. I would have gone to the majority of schools. I think there might have been 1 or 2 that I missed, but we would have interfaced. So I know some of you have changed. So we set a very simple criteria. But as we move forward, we're going to have a more formalized one where we can identify those persons who really stand out. So for this very special award, which has been given by the Pan American Health Organization, we looked at the canteen concessionaire who attended all of the meetings that were called by the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados, who supported the School Nutrition Policy, who strategized to encourage students to select healthier options. I would have spoken to some of you, and some of you have really tried to engage the students to encourage them to eat healthy. We also looked at who contributed to the schools. And the persons who stood out for this particular award that's been offered to you by the Pan American Health Organization is Queen's College, Akila Martin, and I would like to invite the Chief Education Officer to present the voucher. And this voucher is just a representation, and be careful, ma'am. It's just a representation of what will be offered to the canteen concessionaire. So the next person who will come to the platform is Andrew Franklin. So I know of Andrew Franklin. Andrew Franklin has been implementing strategies even before we went full speed ahead with the school nutrition policy. I have observed him interface with the students at the Darrell Jordan School, and he really encouraged these children to consume healthy, even giving away samples. And that is commendable, and I think he's deserving of this award. The next person who will come to the podium, and thank you, Chief, I invite Dr. Phillips. So I invite Jeffrey Jordan to the podium, and I'll explain the reason why for Jeffrey. Now, Jeffrey is in Speightstown. A lot of competition. I am not going to mention what they are. Nevertheless, whenever I go to Alexandra, his mother in particular, because I would interface with his mother, she would say, "We have no problem. We are doing well," and that speaks to the creativity. You will always see the chiller packed with water. So we thought that he would be deserving of this award because of the effort, the location, and it shows this can be done. We just need to stick with it. So thank you, Mr. John. And lastly, I wonder if we could guess who the last person would be. Anyone would like to hazard a guess? David. David Eiffel. So David Eiffel is the president of the Canteen Concessionaires Association. And I heard, and I speak about this all the time, I've tasted it. David has produced a macaroni pie which is cheeseless. However, when I was told that this macaroni pie does not have cheese, I thought it was unbelievable because it tasted like it did have cheese. And I know that he makes an effort at the Leicester Vaughan School to ensure that these children are consuming what are the healthy options. I am still to get this recipe from Mr. Eiffel. I would like to be in the trade secret. So these are the 4 persons, and I want to thank you, David, for pulling together the association. And at this point, I want to encourage all of you to join the association. There is strength in numbers. If you have an issue, all of you can't come to the ministry. Well, you can, but I encourage you not to. All of you come to the Ministry of Education. You have a conduit, and your conduit is David and the members on that committee who can share what your concerns are. Remember, we are in this together. We recognize it is not easy. It's behavior change. It is behavior change, and behavior change is difficult. But we need you. We need you to help our children. Because you know what? When these children become adults, you might still have to continue to work because they will not be able. So we need you to continue. Someone mentioned, I think it was Professor Ann, who spoke about being creative in your dishes. Continue to be creative in preparing these dishes, healthy, tasty dishes. I think Dr. Archer Bradshaw mentioned that as well. We need you to be creative, keep on coming up with some ideas to lure our children into eating healthier. So for the 4 recipients of these awards, I thank you. Continue the good job. Thank you.
Congratulations once again to all of our recipients, particularly the special recipients here this afternoon. You can see that this has been a coalition of efforts, and we are only looking to expand and deepen our ties so that we can really pull this together for our children. Because if you hadn't noticed, they all grow up and look after us, huh? All right, so somebody has to be healthy. At this time, I'm going to invite Mrs. Francine Charles, and she is the program manager, Childhood Obesity Prevention, Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados, and member of the School Nutrition Policy Implementation Committee. I invite Francine to move the official vote of thanks here this afternoon. Francine.
Thank you so much, Gaynell. But before I give the vote of thanks, I think it is most appropriate for us to invite Mr. David Eiffel, the chair of the new Canteen Concessionaires Association, to move a recipient's response.
Mrs. Serlene Willoughby, Education Officer, Ministry of Education, Technology and Vocational Training. Mrs. Heather Phillips-Boyce, Team Lead, School Nutrition Policy, Implementation Committee, Education Officer, Ministry of Education, Technology and Vocational Training. Professor Anne St. John, Co-Chair, Barbados Obesity Prevention Coalition. Dr. Walter Alling, Senior Medical Officer, NCD's Ministry of Health and Education, Wellness, Dr. Ramona Archer Bashaw, Chief Education Officer, Ministry of Education, Technology and Vocational Training. Mrs. Francine Charles, Program Manager, Childhood Obesity Prevention, Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados. Master of Ceremonies, Ms. Gaynell Marshall. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, colleagues, good afternoon. I stand before you here today as the President of the Canteen Concessionaires Association. Honored to share in the journey of adapting to the new Barbados Nutritional Policy. The transition has been a challenge and an opportunity to make a real positive difference in the lives of our students, their health, and their future. As you all know, the Barbados National Nutrition Policy is a significant initiative aimed at improving the overall health and well-being of our nation's children. With the rising concern around children, obesity, and non-communicable diseases, and the poor eating habits, this policy is a crucial step towards creating a healthier generation. As school canteen operators, we knew it was essential not only comply with guidelines, but to fully embrace them. When the policy was first introduced, my colleagues and I were initially uncertain about the changes that would be required. The list of banned foods, the push for healthier snacks, and the new guidelines on portion sizes all seemed daunting. However, we quickly realized that the policy was not just about limiting what we preserve, but about expanding what we offer in a way that supports a healthier, more vibrant future for our students. One of the biggest changes we made was reimagining our menus. One of the days of sugary snacks, deep fried foods, overly processed meals. Instead, we began to focus on fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and more balanced options. We learned to be creative in what we had available, turning nutritious ingredients into meals and snacks that are not only good for our students, but also tasty and appealing to them. After all, if it doesn't taste good, you won't eat it. But despite that simple system of changing the food, it was a shifting mindset. My own included. We had to educate ourselves and our staff on the importance of these nutritional guidelines. We attended workshops, consulted nutritionists, and worked closely with each other at our individual schools to ensure we were all on the same page. The goals were clear. We need to give our children the fuel they need to succeed, not just academically, but in every aspect of business. Of course, no change on those challenges. There were moments of doubt, time when the demand for unhealthy snacks were still late, and when the students resisted healthier alternatives. But with consistent effort and clear communication with both teachers and students, we started to see the shift. We've introduced fun and active activities like Water Wednesday and Food Fridays. We also made efforts to involve teachers in the journey, understanding the holistic approach, one that includes the home, the school, the canteen, necessary to complete this lasting change. Through this process, we have seen firsthand how this new policy has a profound impact on children's behavior, their focus, and overall health. They are more energized, more engaged, and begin to appreciate the value of good nutrition. And this is ultimately the purpose of this policy, not just to change what's on plate, but to nurture the healthy habits that will last for a lifetime. Looking ahead, we knew that there will continue to be adjustments to be made. There will always new trends in food, evolving nutritional science, and changing tastes. But I feel confident knowing that we're moving in the right direction towards a healthier, more sustainable way of feeding our future leaders. In closing, we, the academic operators, would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the Ministry of Education and Wellness, the Ministry of Education, Technology and Vocational Training, and the Heart and Shoulder Foundation for their unwavering support and guidance throughout this process. Your leadership and vision have been instrumental in helping us to understand the importance of nutrition and the need for healthier, more balanced meals. We are committed to working alongside you as we continue to ensure our canteens are not just a place to eat, but spaces to promote health and well-being. The journey has always been easy, but it's incredibly rewarding. It has been incredibly rewarding. We have embraced this opportunity because in the end, the health and happiness of our children are worth every effort. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Eiffel. And I mean, we really need to applaud the canteen concessionaires one more time, and I'll tell you why. To hear a group of persons who have been most closely touched financially by this issue and the declarations that have come from them today and also in the days before when we were working with them, I think they need an applause because they are an example of how a policy succeeds. I want to say, as protocols having been fully established, we close off this afternoon knowing that we are at a next juncture, a good juncture. We have faced some very tough times, and I know for the canteens, we have faced some tough times. But we believe that here at this pivotal point, that Barbados can do it. I can tell you that the region is looking. We've already had some requests from St. Kitts and Nevis as to how you're doing this, and can we model your compliance list? So we are doing well, and we continue on from today. So as I move the vote of thanks, I wish to thank, of course, the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, Dr. Ramona Archer-Bradshaw as the Chief Education Officer. Thank you so much for your commitment and your continued insistence that this thing will occur. Thank you very much. We wish to thank the Ministry of Health and Wellness, starting with Dr. Walter Aline, who of course brought the remarks today, Dr. Arthur Phillips, our ongoing and continued champion, no matter how high he gets in the ranks, and Mr. Brian Payne. I think he has already left, but Brian has been awesome and the initial architect of this policy. We wish to thank Mrs. Heather Phillips-Boyce, the chair of the School Nutrition Policy Implementation Committee. And I can tell you that Heather needs so much thanks because she has been working day and night to ensure that this policy lives. See, when you start a policy, you have to ensure that it gets rooted, and she is ensuring that the necessary nurturing is being done. So thank you very much. We want to thank, of course, Mr. David Eiffel, the president of the Canteen Concessionaires Association, and all of the canteen concessionaires, especially those who have been on the committee and those who have been really diligent in being a part of the vendors training. We wish to thank you very much. We wish to thank our sponsors, starting with, of course, the Pan American Health Organization. Thank you so much for your contributions today, and also the special gifts that we're expecting at the end of the year for the 4 primary schools. Thank you in advance. We want to thank ICBL and Standards who immediately came on board to ensure that this particular event to recognize our canteens actually came to fruition. Thank you very much, and we look forward to continued collaboration. We want to thank the School Nutrition Policy Implementation Committee. The team has been working since the start of this year, and we've come to a place where we actually have guidelines and an implementation plan for the next 3 years, and we've all been pushing on this team to ensure that we do our best for our children. So thank you very much. I want to thank our Childhood Obesity Prevention Programs team and the coalition. The kinds of work that has been going on, especially by the volunteers in the coalition and our team, has been really, really encouraging to see that there are people who are putting our children first. This is a very tough fight, as you know. There are lots of tough waters to navigate for different reasons, but their determination and their courage has really been exemplary. So we thank you very much. I'd like my team, thank you so much. I'd like to thank our MC, Gaynell Marshall, who is becoming more and more a part of the Childhood Obesity Prevention family. We thank you for today. Excellent presentation and facilitation, and we look forward to working with you on an ongoing basis. Thank you. I would like to thank the members of our media who come to each and every one of our events and ensure that the message is getting out about childhood obesity prevention, about this fight, about NCD prevention. You're making your contribution, and it has not gone unnoticed. Thank you. And I kind of saved the best for last, although I did mention them a little bit. But I just really want to thank our canteens. I know that just even being here, leaving work and coming, all of that, all of those areas of contribution we have noticed. We continue, as we did from the very beginning, to promise you that we will walk with you through this journey. Because yes, we want to see it succeed, but we also want to see you succeed. So again, we thank you very much for your commitment to the process. Thank you. And as we close today, we continue to encourage all our stakeholders in every area. We look forward to seeing the industry standing in this room next year as part of the process. And we continue to be really, really encouraged by what we are seeing, the amazing and determined collaboration that we are seeing. And I want to remind you that our children deserve better. And I think in this room, we are proving that we are stronger together. Thank you. And at this point, I will turn over to you.
Thank you so much, Francine. There's really not much I can add to this, except thank you so much for your time and your dedication today. And will not go unrewarded, because I am assured that there are approved bits of refreshment available. Approved. I can't promise you a cheeseless mac pie, although we're all looking at you, sir. All of us. But we invite you to join us on the outside. There is tea and coffee I see at the back, and some water, and there are refreshments on the outskirts. They're in the main passageway. Thank you all so much for coming today. Have a great afternoon.